All right, we're back for episode 47 of the Idiot Circle. I'm Mike.
I'm Fred.
I'm Rob.
And today we have a very special guest. Today we have a musician that has friends with. Oh, stop, Mike. Has friends that in the music industry that we're going to talk about a little bit. He's also plays locally as well. We have Mr. Ian Smith. Ian, thank you for joining the show.
Ian Smith.
How you doing, fellas?
We were having Ian Asbury on the show today. I was all excited. I thought
I like him.
I thought it was Ian Anderson, but that's all right too.
I'm proud of that because I'm standing on one leg right now.
Yeah.
In my pockets, if you'll pardon my vernacular.
It's wide open. This show's wide open, so feel free.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's off limits. We don't.
Oh my Lord.
We don't pull any punches. It doesn't matter. You can say
whatever. Might not pull punches,
want.
But if we pull the string, look out.
Yeah.
Ian becomes super Ian.
Yeah, and Ian, you can tell you're a quiet, reserved kind of.
I am. I'm very, very quiet, Rob. Very, very quiet.
Well, Rob's really quiet because he's frozen up on his end or something.
Is he?
That's a beautiful picture. He looks like he's looking.
Hang on, he looks like he's going to pass gas right there.
I bet it looks like he's just ready to let one go.
That's what I say. Yeah,
it froze up.
Well, yeah, you look like some girl was giving you a Hummer underneath.
That's
good night. I only wish.
That's karma for you, Rob, because you were ripping on me, the IT guy. So that's what happens when you rip on me. He's frozen again. Look at him.
The max headroom.
It's great stuff, fellas.
Rob, what a
guy.
Yeah, how do you like this so far, Ian? How's it going for you?
I'm liking it. It's about my lifestyle, you know. I don't know which end is up. That's what happened.
Boy. All right.
Rob doesn't either.
Yeah, there he is. Now he's got glasses on. There he goes.
Well, it says my internet connection is weak, but it shows that my internet connection's fine.
Wow.
I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe it's
technology.
Yeah, you gotta love it, right? So
Ian, no problem. Technology.
Right. So Ian, why don't you kind of give us a little background about yourself, like where you came from, how you got into music, what you're doing now, things like that.
Yeah. Back in the 70s, I was born actually, first of all, in a city called Newcastle on the northeast coast of England. And everybody that I knew was in a band. And I think it was back then, it was just a form of kind of escape from the city. It was coal mines and shipbuilding and things like that back in the day,
And nut brown ale.
Yeah, is that where Newcastle brown ale comes?
Newcastle brown ale, yeah, that's yep.
Very nice.
Where it was from, yeah. So
good beer.
And the good thing back then was it was strong. It was dark and it was it was just great stuff.
That's how Fred likes his women.
Night, and there was a woman who was drinking brown ale. You knew the laundry was coming off.
Nice. Panty droppers, huh?
Yeah, women used to drink that were not of the highest class, would I say? But
that's why the beer was strong, Ian. So that's right. Better.
So that's where I was from, like Newcastle. We all played in bands. I actually started out when I was about 16 in the folk clubs in England. Back then, I just liked all those folk artists. So I started going out like the clubs, folk clubs, where it was usually like an open mic night. You could get up and sing and you play guitar. And back then I did. So I just go around the clubs, folk clubs, and I don't know where, but I got the balls just to get up and sing a few songs that I like, I can play guitar. And from that, I just sort of went into like rock bands. There was a guy saw me, he said, "Hey, I'm doing a band. Do you want to join the band?" And that's how it happened. So I played around the northeast of England for many years, like playing in bands, playing festivals, playing a lot of the bars, like in the clubs that that we all used to play back then. And back in the day, a lot of them were like legions and what's the other one? They're the Moose. So a bit like that, you know, like for all the working class men would go in there. And if they didn't like you, boy, you knew about it.
Yeah,
Did
you
they
knew
have
about it.
Did they have the chicken wire up, or that's just in the U.S.?
No, it wasn't that. No,
Okay.
not bad.
Did they have the shepherd's hook?
Chicken wires for pussies.
No,
Mike. And
it would
there
just-
you got to stand and take it, whatever they throw at you.
sometimes you'd have to do a Sunday lunchtime, which was like awful because you'd already played on the Saturday night and Monday you had to go back to work, you know. Sometimes you do like Sunday lunchtime.
Oh boy.
Ian
Both him and
frozen.
Robert. Oh, I thought.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
So we used to have to go on, you know, like before and after the stripper. And it was just horrendous.
I think we.
Definitely don't want to go on after. That's not. That's
just
a
terrible.
foul.
Yeah.
But like Sunday lunchtime gig, you have to get up and play, and they'd all be sitting there on a Sunday lunchtime, real old English thing, and they'll all be sitting reading the Sunday news, right? And they'd look over and watch the band, you know, for a little bit. They'd go back to the paper, then they'd have a little drink and stuff. But if they didn't like you, they'd just turn around with their paper.
Oh boy.
And he's frozen again.
And he's back. No.
Back then, you
And
used to come up like through those things. It was trial by fire. It was tough. So that's what I did. I played in bands, but then in the 70s, I just saw, you know, the UK in my mind wasn't really going to be anything wonderful like for me. So there was a brother of mine. Thank you. You turned around. You're not the first guy to do that, by the way.
What a prick.
Oh, you weren't singing, so that's okay.
Yeah, no, they just wait till I start that, you'll all shut the thing down.
Yeah.
you know what?
So I left England. I was thinking, I gotta get out of England.
When you
What's
say
that, Rob?
when you say fuck you to someone with that accent, it doesn't sound as bad as when it comes from somebody who's from America. I think it's so bad.
It's a nice fuck you.
It kind of rolls right off your tongue.
We use the C word a lot, the same as the Australians, you know. And
Oh yeah.
people here hate it, you know. But
The see you next Tuesday.
Well, wait.
Yeah,
only half our population really hates it. Like
is that right?
most men don't care. There's a half of our population that really don't like that word.
Yeah, they frown upon it. I don't know why.
We use it as a friend, you know, as a friendly term sometimes, you know, when you say a friend of yours, they'll go, how you doing, you big fat?
I wish
And
you
they
would
always
have
answer,
said it.
oh, great, thank you. Lovely to see you.
We need to incorporate that word and desensitize it and start using
I
it.
know.
Hey, you big fat.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna have a debate on the show. It's gonna be guys versus girl, and we're gonna use how can we make this word usable? We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose bad.
We've chased all
Well,
our
there's all
women
sorts of
listeners.
variations on it that are not as sort of vulgar as the women would say, but
Yeah, right.
yeah, I don't want to tell them to you because I mean
Oh, I bet.
they're very, very descriptive, would I say.
Right.
I wanted to get out of England. So I said, where do I go? And I was going to go to South Africa. But at the time, the apartheid thing was huge.
Yeah. Right.
And the prime minister's name there was Ian Smith. And I thought, hell, I'm not going to go there.
No.
Yeah,
Smart move.
so I gave that up and I went Australia. That's too far away. You know, the convicts, once they go there, you never see them again, you know.
Right.
Canada came up, you know, part of the Commonwealth and all that. And there was a brother of mine, he had said, hey, I think I'm going to go to Canada. And I went, oh, okay, well, you know, let me know what it's like.
Damn it.
So we were his last choice is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, we lost you there, big guy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you froze up for a minute. So last we heard was your brother went to Canada and you asked
Canada, and I sort of followed along.
Okay.
Yeah, followed along later, and then he went that way, I went that way, and I found a job. I got like a real job is like my dad would say, get yourself a real job.
A proper job. A proper job.
Well, I got a job. I was, okay, where's the lots of work? Somebody said like Sarnia, Chemical Valley. They're always looking for engineers and millwrights, and that's what I did, and I hated it. Hated it with a passion. And then I formed a band, and I was touring around the area, like in Canada, this area, sort of Southern Ontario. And then a mate of mine joined the band. And then he called me up. He says, "Hey, I joined a band." I saw it on the news, I said. And I was Mr. Brian Johnson. So I just went out and sort of hung out with them. He said, "Hey, why don't you come out and sort of hang out with us, So there I went. So I toured with them. They said, they were then at that point on this sort of meteoric rise, at the Back in Black thing. And anyway, so I went to work for the band.
That was your friend, Brian Johnson?
Since he and I have been friends about 55 years or something.
Holy mackerel.
He lives here in Sarasota, Ian. I live in Bradenton,
yeah.
Florida.
Oh, so that's the Brian you're going to hang out with.
Yes, I leave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he lives down there, Rob. Yeah, like Sarasota.
Yeah, he lives in Sarasota. I was in a club one day and called the Smoke and Martini, ironically, and this is a good little story. The house band is playing, and he was in their private back room. Well, he came out and he sang "Long Tall Mare." Is it "Long Tall Mare"?
Sally.
Sally.
Yeah, he came out and sung that, but he was drunk, and there was a bunch of old people there, and people were like around us are like, "Who in the fuck is this?" I'm like, "It's Brian Johnson from AC/DC. What are you talking about?" Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just a good man.
People love him here because he, if they say if you see him in the store and say hello to him, he'll talk to you for like an hour.
Oh, he is. He's great. He's great. Yeah. I mean, he and I get together and we talk for hours and hours, and we, of course, have a few drinks, and we tell a few lies and a couple of stories, and we always end up talking about guys from back home. Hey, did you see Rob? Yeah, how's he doing? Oh, it looks like shit.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Not you, Rob.
Yeah. It does look like shit, though. You're right.
I am shit. I'm old, man. I'm old. Anyway, so I was working for that band. I toured the world. I was all over the world, and that was it. And so when that ended, I mean, they can afford to take a few years off, but I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I formed a band.
Who's picking up the check when you go out, Ian? You or Brian Johnson? I mean, what does that look like?
What's that, Rob?
Who's picking up the check when you and Brian Johnson go out?
I honestly, I swear, hand on my heart, I don't want to be that.
Yeah, the moocher.
I pick it up sometimes. Yeah, sure. We go for dinner and I pick it up. Now
Rob's frozen again.
Now Rob looks like
that's a ridiculous pose.
Put a helmet on him. Put a helmet on him. He's going to Woodlands.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
I said there's an over/under, right, Ian? I said
yes.
If the check comes and it's 2,200, Brian's picking that fucker.
That's right. Fortunately, but we usually just end up going to like some of the local restaurants. We don't go around the circle very much down there, like in Sarasota, because that's where they expect to see some of those guys, because there's a bunch of rock and roll guys live around there,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I did when I left. When I finished, what am I going to do? Then I'm going to form a band. So I formed a band like in Canada, and we did okay. We were local, but we did all right. I met my wife, who's from Michigan, and then I moved over here, and nobody really knew me here, and I started like to play and do some shows and all that, and it's just sort of grown from there. I'm very, very lucky. I'm extremely, extremely blessed and grateful, really, to the community, you know. But I didn't do it full time. I did have a job as well, because like my brother came back in the picture, and I was in the bar business also for a while in Canada, and the bar business was starting to change. He was in this other business that was starting to change, and he was a chemist and an engineer from England by trade. He said, how's the bar business? How's everything? I said, it's changing. Rap's starting to come.
Frozen. Okay.
Just call this show Frozen.
Yep. We got you froze up there again. We got you right where rap started.
Rap started.
Yeah.
That's where you froze up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So all these rap bands were coming out. We were doing rock and roll, and we were hiring rock and roll acts for the bar and stuff in Sarnia. And it was just this is awful. And I was getting a little bit older, and the kids were getting younger. So we started a chemical company. He was a chemist. He says, we should make Roundup because they've lost the patent for Roundup. We should do it.
Wow, nice.
Thing about agriculture, zero. He said, I know, that's the challenge. So we started to manufacture Roundup, and we sold it nationwide.
Wow.
It was our own brand. I know, it was our own brand. So one night, I'll tell you a real funny story. Brian was playing Detroit, and the opening act was Slash in the Snake Pit.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Yes.
The band. So we're sitting around in the afternoon, sound check, and I'm sitting around with Brian, like with Slash, who was a really nice guy. He says, hey, so Ian, what do you do? I says, we have a chemical business, blah, blah, blah. I'm in a band, but not just local. He says, so what do you do like with chemicals? I says, well, we make all sorts of stuff, but weeds, we kill weeds. And Slash went, not the good ones.
Yeah. Right.
You're okay.
Classic.
But he was a great guy. So, we did that for a number of years. And then I got out the business when I retired about 6-7 years ago. And I'd been doing some shows actually, like for the city here.
Oh, come on, man. This is sad. He's right when he's saying something good. It's like telling a joke. And
Where
then
do you live, Fred?
I'm doing shows for the city. They asked me to play some shows. I was doing okay locally here. Some shows for Rock and the Rivers, for Chili Fest, things like that. So I started to do them. So when I retired, I was asked by the city if I would help them with the bands. They do city stuff. I know band stuff. I know bands. I know agents. I know the industry. I said, yeah, sure. When I retire, yeah. So I did that, and I've been doing that now for a few years, just helping them out with some of the acts that they book, and I run the shows for the theater. I MC them and sort of stage manage, and then I do Rock on the Rivers with them, and I book all those acts for the Plaza that they just started.
Yep.
So it's like a retiree. I'm pretty busy.
Yeah. So who asked you to do that?
Lady called Nancy Windsor.
She's a smart lady.
Thanks, Fred. She's a lovely woman. Hey, listen.
Oh, she's the best. There ain't no question. She's awesome. But because your band over in Canada was the 88s, correct? Oh, he's frozen again.
Am I off? Am I froze?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
You're unfroze.
So your band,
yes.
So you guys were the 88s, and you were running Campbell Street, correct?
Correct.
Yep. And all of us have experienced maybe not all of us, but I know Mike has. I did, and I used to see the 88s play quite a bit over there because I used to go there all the time.
Wow. Yeah, but you said you'd never pay for them to see them. It just you got tickets free.
Well,
probably
you got a cover charge. But yeah, I remember you back in the day doing that, and then you started playing over here. And if you guys remember the band Alter Ego, Ian's first band had Jamie McDowell as the guitar player, and was it Kurt Schultz?
Kurt Balko.
Kurt Balko. Oh, sorry.
Kurt Balko.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were great. The talent was great. I mean, the voices were great.
Yeah.
I was just lucky to be able to work with those guys, and the voices just seemed to mesh. I mean, our harmonies were really
very, very nice.
Yeah.
Fred, did we see them up at was it the office or something?
Yeah, we saw that. We came up, Mike and up. I came up to see you play up at the office. He's frozen again.
We just gotta let it work.
Want to build a snowman? Want to build?
We're
a snowman?
gonna call this episode
Frozen.
Ian Frozen in Time.
I wish, man, 'cause I'm getting old, you know.
Jeez.
So,
that was a shorter one. That's good. But
okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
so play the office. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Yeah.
Now, obviously you play like all over the area. I know that you've played the art fair down in Elginak, and you've played the Riverside in St. Clair. You've played the Plaza in St. Clair. Obviously you've played all over Port Huron. And the people, like I said, after hearing you play a couple, it was a big thing for me to go and try to see you play, because I really enjoyed watching you guys play. And
Thank you. Thanks, Fred.
And then when Kendra and I came up to see you play up at the Windjammer, I think you had Bob Kerrigan with you, who is another phenomenal guitar player.
Legend. Bob is a great guy. Things have changed around this area over the years. Everybody plays with different guys now. I mean, years ago, it was you were in this band and you never left or worked with other guys, but we all do different things, and it's really good because it gives you just a whole different viewpoint, and you do different kind of songs, So it's changed from what I do, with Rick and Bob, and then I would do a show with Bob and Lonnie as well. We do some shows together.
Oh yeah, Lonnie.
Yep.
So give me some of your viewpoints of some of the bands in the area, the ones that stand out in your mind when you think about our area as far as music is concerned.
Local bands,
Nice job, Fred. You froze them up.
I froze them up again. Sorry.
I think the local bands are very good. The Gringos, Eddie has got a really good voice, I think, and his range is huge. I'm getting older, so you know what happens. It's like sort of, I don't know, things change a bit. I mean, I'm shooting pool with a rope occasionally as well. So, when you get old, those things happen a bit. But no, I think the Gringos are good. I'm a huge fan of the Henhouse Boys. I think it's just that rockabilly thing, and I just think they're really cool.
I haven't heard them yet.
Let me ask you this, Ian, because
No, he's frozen. He's frozen again.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
Ian, Frozen in Time, come back to us.
I need some WD-40 on my computer.
Yeah. Hey, Ian, let me ask you this, because I'm a big fan of Los Gringos, and Eddie in particular. Have you ever seen a local guy be so interactive with the crowd, like that charisma, that stage presence? I mean, you guys have great acts around there, but that guy is just like on another level.
Oh God, Rob. Eddie Stevens.
He's got a man crush on
Eddie.
that.
Yeah.
Eddie's just great. I really love watching him. I think he's a really good
entertainer.
We're frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Each one of us, when this do this, take a spot and go, he's back, and we'll see who gets it.
So did you say that Eddie Stevens was a great entertainer?
Great. I think, as a band guy who sees a load of bands, Eddie is a really good front man. he's a good frontman for a band. You see some bands and the frontman might have a decent voice, but his persona doesn't reach the audience, you know. There's some guys out there, but Eddie, is really, really, really good. I mean, I've watched it for years. I think the band is really, really good. The players are just exceptional, I think. They're just a good, tight band.
Right.
Same as the Gobies, same as the Gypsies, Alter Ego. There's just so many of them, I think. And for a small area, I think there's a shitload of talent around this area.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my time like in the limelight. I'm at the back end of it now. I pick and choose, the dates that I'd like to do, and the rest of it, I'm working there for the city, doing those city gigs. But it's just lovely to go out and really watch all these other local bands. And there's some solos who are coming up and doing wonderful, wonderful things,
Mike, you ever notice how like guys, as American guys, if we say the word lovely, your buddies are going to say, how I know you're gay? When Ian says it just sounds right? It's there. It just lays there. It's a man saying lovely.
Everything
my funny accent,
is like
it's everything's
gold.
like it's like everything's just stress free.
Now we know why the British guys get all the chicks.
I know. Ian, when you came to this country, how well did you use that accent? I mean, that must have worked for you.
What are they?
Yeah, when you came over, to America, you must have really worked that accent, right? The ladies must have loved it.
Way to go, Rob. You froze him up.
He's back.
Fred, you got it.
Brian's accent is really, really thick, and he's never changed one iota. And there's a bunch of guys that I know from England who play in bands and tour the US, and their accents have never changed. I don't know. When I go to England, they all go, "You talk funny." And I go, I know they say that back in the States. I talk. So it's a little muddled now, my accent, but lovely is a word that we've always used, like you say it together, you got a lovely bum. I like your bum, it's lovely.
That's a
Now
good
Rob's
phrase.
Doesn't get offended.
Yeah.
Rob's frozen now.
I'm back.
There he is.
No, Rob's back and Ian's frozen.
And Ian's back.
Wow, this is
And he is back.
back.
And he's back.
We used to say things like, well, now is what I say. You're getting old when you're watching porn and you go, that's a comfortable mattress, that is. That is a Posturepedic. That's a Sealy. It's whatever it is.
Yes. Oh, it's a California King. Ooh.
Hey, look, that's a sleep number, Bad.
I wonder. Yeah,
That's right. Sleep number.
I wonder what Jenna Jameson's sleep number is.
69.
69.
69. Totally 69. Good job,
Yes.
Fred. Wow, you're quick.
Ian and I said at the same time. That's hilarious. So Ian,
Yes, sir.
the Rock and the Rivers and things like that. Do you think that's something that could be done throughout the community, not just in Port Huron? Do you think like a town like Elginak and Marine City and St. Clair does it? Maybe not at the same level, but do you see those like Elginak and Marine City having a location
Similar thing?
that you think? And if Marine City was going to do something like that, do you think the park where they do the Battle of the Bands is probably the best spot for it?
Now, surprisingly, I don't know where that is, Fred, that park. I mean, I've played there for the art fair. Is that the same park that you're talking about?
It's right now where the Riviera, where the old ferry used to go.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know it. Yeah,
it's across from Gord's Bar.
Yeah.
They have that park there.
Yeah, I do. I mean, why not? Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to find the right act to reach a wide audience. You've got to be careful what acts you get, but it also has to be varied. But there's no reason why they couldn't do it. You look at Lexington, they do the music in the park thing during the summer.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
They do all of those.
Yeah, I know Lexington does an awesome job, and I know that the theater does great, and I know Greg, from obviously from Little River band that you play with. He's frozen again.
Rob, are you frozen?
No, he's on the phone and he's back.
Rob's trying to call me. I think I missed the call.
Okay.
Hey,
Yep.
Mike, it's me, Rob. Yeah, I keep getting frozen on this damn thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Greg and I do some shows together, and it's like a lot of fun, you know. And I think it's weird. Here's a guy from Australia and a guy from England playing really, really good songs for Americans.
Right. Well, it's
Awesome.
crazy because I know that Kendra and Tori and Kevin Mon and we all went to the Moose and watched you two play, and you guys played. I mean, it was outstanding show. You guys play very well together. That's the one thing that I enjoy about watching you, Ian, is it seems like whoever you play with, you guys, it's like you guys are in the pocket with each other.
Thank you. I think you have to step up your game. I think you got to have your wits about you. You know, you don't want to, you don't want to just get up there half-assed and like make your partner look bad. You know, I think you have to try and take a good look at their style and see if you can mesh that together. You know, I think it's very, very important to do that. Mm-hmm. Some bands don't do that. I mean, I've seen some bands and there's no mesh. You know, when you watch it live, this guy's playing guitar, this guy's playing keys, but I just don't see that
continuity.
Yeah. Some guys I don't think work hard enough to do that. I think it's important. And the other thing I've always said, by the way, is that, you know, when you get hired to play somewhere, you're not really getting hired to get drunk and have a good laugh. You're getting hired to ring the cash register. That's why they've asked you to come and play, because they think that you might ring the cash register and bring in like some audience, some
right. Yeah, totally agree.
And, you know, Camel Street was the same. We used to book some bands there that I didn't like very much at all, but they used to pack the place. I mean, the whole idea is to sell booze. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah, because I know that you've been being involved with, helping with getting sticks, and obviously upcoming REO Speedwagon this summer and stuff like that. I know you get a lot, and I know you get a lot of, and you had Cheap Trick, and I know there's all these stipulations and things that in the negotiations and stuff like that. So I know how tough it is, and I know that both you and Nancy and Rob Churchill have really kind of dialed that in, and you starting to bring back what McMorran used to be like, where they used to always have bands coming in and playing. I agree. Because I saw Kiss, I saw Cheap Trick, I saw Rat back in the day, all up there, Bon Jovi, up at McMorran, and then all of a sudden it was just McMorran just disappeared off of the map.
Well, for many, many years, I thought, when I moved here, and I've been here for many years, I thought it was underused, and it's a beautiful theater. I think it's a great, great room for sound. The sight lines are really, really good, and I just thought it was grossly underused, other than like Civic Theater and the Town Hall thing that comes in. But the bigger bands, though, I have to say that they've asked me for recommendations. Do you think this act would sell well? Do you think this would? And I always sort of go back like the Billboard magazine. You can go see what the numbers are nationwide and all that stuff. So I would recommend, but it was Rob and Nancy, and I think maybe James as well with the city. They would do all the final sort of negotiations. So I don't want to send out the thought that maybe I'm it. I just recommendations. Now the theater ones, I've got a bit more say in that with the tribute bands that we've been doing. For example, the Queen thing that I recommended has sold, I think, a little over 1,000 seats now, and that's January 28th. The John Waite show was selling really well.
Yep.
I think
I already got my tickets for that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll be gone, but yeah.
Nancy charges them double.
Yeah.
So she should.
Touche.
So she should, me son.
Yeah, touche.
So
Get
Ian,
some of that money back.
what are
Right,
some
no
of,
kidding.
what are your some of your favorite songs to play and sing when you play? Do you have a few that, man, that you really love these songs to do? Them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's some that I do that I've been doing for years, and I'm like, if I have to sing that song one more time, even I didn't write it. It's just yeah, you got to do certain songs. People ask you for them, and it's like yeah. But myself, I'm a huge fan of Chris Stapleton. I do a little Chris Stapleton. I like doing a little bit of Rod Stewart. Really, because we're the same age, close enough anyway.
You're right.
There's a guy from England that I've liked for many, many years. A guy called Paul Carrick. C-A-R.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he sang with Ace and
Correct.
and
Mike and the Mechanics.
Mike and the Mechanics.
Yeah, played with
Squeeze
for a while in his like Squeeze as well. He did Tempted and did those songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just lovely, lovely songs to sing. They're just, I mean, the melodies are just so nice, Yeah, I mean, they're the kind of artists that I like Frankie Miller. Nobody knows much about Frankie Miller. I do a couple of Frankie Miller songs, and he's like a Scottish guy. And Bob Seger does a lot of Frankie Miller songs, and everybody thinks really that they're Bob songs, but really they're Frankie Miller songs.
Oh, really?
Really? Like which ones?
What? Yeah, like
Fire Down Below. If you listen to that, Ain't Got No Money. If you listen to those songs and then you go onto YouTube and then you pull up Frankie Miller, you'll see what I mean.
Oh wow!
Great. I mean, Frankie.
Well, we lost him.
Frozen.
F-R-O-Z-E-N. Back.
He's back.
I spelled the word frozen and smacked my hands, and you came right back.
There's a young guy coming out in Newcastle, where I'm from, called Sam Fender, and he's 28 years old now.
Yeah, I've heard of him actually.
He's phenomenal. He's just really, really, really good. And he played, I think it was Glastonbury last June or July.
Mm-hmm.
And he's coming out of the States next.
This is good for our crowd with these short attention spans.
What, you mean I'm freezing up all the time?
Yeah. So the reason I heard about...
I like all sorts of different things. Roxy Music. I was always like a Roxy Music fan.
Brian Ferry.
Yeah. He's from my hometown. So like Paul Thompson, who's in the band, we went to school together. But I was just always a Roxy Music fan. I just thought they were way, way ahead of that time. So, but they weren't really big. They weren't really, really big like in the States. They're still big in Europe, Canada a bit actually.
Yeah. More Than This is probably one of their best songs that people would remember in the States.
Yeah.
Personally, Ian, the songs that I like that you do are like Poco.
Oh yeah.
I love it when you do. It's Crazy Love.
Crazy Love. Thank you.
Yeah. Love that, and I know a couple times where you and I duetted with the Sam Smith song.
We did.
Yes, and I thought we did. Sounded really good, and that was with that that one guitar player. I haven't seen. He doesn't play around it that much anymore.
No, not anymore.
And frozen.
F-R-O-Z-E. Oh, there he's back.
Well, just in case you missed it, Fred has a good voice.
Oh, we could have missed that part.
He tells us all the time. If you don't know he has a good one, Fred is the one to tell you he's got a good one.
Yeah, right. I don't say a word.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel extremely lucky. I mean, I'm blessed to be able to go out at my age and go out and do a few gigs, and I mean, you go out and you play some songs and you have a couple of drinks and somebody gives you money. I'm like being a hooker, You have a good day,
Really? It's just that easy?
Not that I'm being a hooker, by the way. My legs are too skinny, I think.
So how
It's
about
not your leg, it's too skinny.
it might be your shooting pool with a rope.
Or it might be thick, but he couldn't touch the side of a tuna can. He couldn't touch the bottom of a tuna can.
So
you guys, hey, you guys are a funny bunch. I love it.
So you're good friends with Brian.
Before, Ian.
You're good friends with Brian Johnson. What's your favorite AC/DC song? And it has to be obviously one that Brian Johnson sings. It can, So what's your favorite AC/DC song that Brian Johnson sings?
Oh,
I mean, he won't be watching this, so you won't offend him.
Right.
No, when I see him next week, I'll say, "Yeah, Brian, look at this. Look what I just did."
Well, if you do, hey, Brian,
that would be awesome.
Love for you to come up to Port Huron and play.
Yeah. Brian Johnson said, "I'll never get those 45 fucking minutes back." I got one even better though.
Hey, he's gonna say, "Hey, listen, you C-word, you're picking up the bill."
Wait, he's frozen, Rob. Let him answer my question.
Hey,
am I back?
You're back.
Let me ask you this because
let him
song would be.
Wait. This is off of Mike's question, and I think because here's the thing. I can't think of a singer that had come into a harder situation than Brian Johnson at any time in music history. There's been other singers that have come in tough situations, but not like this one. Has he ever talked and shared with you about what that experience was like?
I was actually there when he was doing it, and it was, I think, one of the reasons that I ended up working for the band. It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Personal assistant was that I think the management and some of the other band members like Mal and Angus and what have you thought that I might bring a little calm to Brian because he was in this situation, and who else to bounce off but somebody from his hometown,
Yeah.
I think that's just my guess, but yeah, you're right. I thought it was very, very hard, and I think he did really, really well. And I think over the years, even when he had a hard time with his hearing, that's really good now. But he's done those TV shows. What was the other one? Life on the Road. Brian Johnson. He's got a brand new thing out, a book called The Lives of Brian. He's doing so many different things, whereas the other guys are not really doing much. Angus doesn't do anything. Well, I think he paints art.
Yeah.
Angus,
the shed every winter. He paints the shed every winter.
I think he does, yeah. Well, that's it. We're going to do my shed, but he's too short.
Yeah.
I have to get him a ladder. AC/DC song. I think probably Back in Black. It's just got it's a great riff and just a really good rock song,
What a great album too. What a great first album for him to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get much better than that.
But Brian has a really, really, really good voice outside of the AC/DC thing. And he and I will throw songs at each other. We get together. Hey, what about this song? Do you remember this song? And he'll sing a little bit, and I'll go.
And he'll freeze. Look at he's like, because it was so good that he froze again. Sorry, say that again. He starts singing.
You would throw songs. I would say, hey, what about this song? Oh, that's a good song. And he'd sing a bit of it. And I'd go, how about this song? And I'd sing a bit of that. He'd go, oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he and I would do things all right together. Like,
should we try this one again sometime?
Am I frozen again?
Yeah.
You're unfrozen now.
And it's not that cold outside.
Yeah, I know. Pretty balmy, actually.
Yeah. So, but a lot of guys, listen, there's a lot of guys that came out in Newcastle. You've got Sting. They got Brian Ferry.
Sting, really? From Newcastle. Yeah. Okay.
They got the Animals. You've got Nicola, like Dire Straits. Then you've got the Pet Shop Boys and now there's Sam Fender. There's so many of them came out in Newcastle. We all just
Ian Smith.
Yeah, I never made it, you know. That's all right. I've had a good life. I've had a good life. It's been great. Been great. But I mean, I see all of those guys when they come around, you know. All the guys. One of my best friends, like from England, about a year ago, he died. And he was a friend of Brian's and me. It was always us three. We used to hang out together. And he was excellent. Great voice, great guitar player, great piano player. Played with Tina Turner for years, Cocker for years. Actually wrote songs like for Joe Cocker, and he was a vocalist for Jimmy Page, right after Zeppelin. Like when Page went out with his first solo album. My friend John was the singer. So I've been very lucky. I got to hang out with Page, you know, and all those guys like Cocker, and just been great life, man. But just like by default, it wasn't those guys going, "Hey, Ian, you're all right, come and meet me." It was through my friend John. So I met some wonderful. I met some awful ones as well, like James Brown. He was
James Brown.
He
was an asshole.
He wasn't really an asshole. He just
crazy.
He just wasn't with the program, you know. Him and his son. Like in Europe, I'd go to see my friend John years ago when he's out in Europe touring, and that different acts on the bill. The one year it was James, and he was, and then one year was Ike Turner.
Oh boy!
Oh God!
Jeez, what is this? What is this tour? The gangster tour or something?
And the beat goes on.
And the beat down goes on.
Yeah,
that's right.
He was a strange dude, Ike. He's a strange guy. So you very lucky, very blessed.
You've seen the movie Spinal Tap, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
So
he gets
any Spinal Tap moments on the AC/DC tour? I'm sure there's a few.
Oh yeah, good question, Mike.
I'm sure Angus has got a volume button that goes up.
And he like, "Hello, Cleveland," in the back. "Hello, Cleveland."
I was actually there one night when he did that. He said, he sort of went over and went, "You're in Detroit." Oh shit.
They just all blend together, right?
Well, so now they always have it up like on a monitor in front, you know.
Yeah,
just remind you where you are. It can happen. We were all over the world, and you'd wake up and you'd say, "Okay, where am I?" Because you had to get some change. But okay, do I need francs, like Swiss? Do I need pounds? So pounds. So I'll go downstairs and you go, "Good morning, the old son," and the guy would go, "Bonjour, monsieur." So I mean, honestly, it was just you just didn't know where you were. Sometimes it was show after show after show.
And scene.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah,
he froze up again. I think he knows when he freezes up now.
I mean, there's things that have happened.
Well, I can tell you that we're very fortunate to be able to, we have been very fortunate enough to hear you play, and thanks, we enjoy, and of course, you know how I feel about you anyway. So
yes, thank you, Fred.
So I'm trying to, get people to, go and watch you play. You got a really good following. So
thank you.
So, and you always will. So that's a good thing, and like the people like Paul and Oates.
Great band. Paul and I've been friends for years. Paul's really good.
Yep. And, they got a good following. The Gobies have a huge following.
Huge,
Alter Ego and Los Gringos have been. The nice thing is I think that in our area, especially if you, and I know that you probably saw the documentary, right? There's Something in the Water.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Great.
Yeah. So, that just goes to show you, I mean, the type of people that have actually played in this area are from this area and got to do things. But I mean, I think if you go take it from Michigan, Ohio, and even let's say Pennsylvania, and you can find an area in our, the same size. I bet you couldn't find the amount of bands that are as good as what we have here.
Yeah. like I say, from a guy that came from the outside in, the talent around here is really, really, really good. And I think it's really, really good for a small area. Yeah, it's just excellent. I mean, the local bands are just really good, I think. All of them, they've all got their own niche, they've all got their own things. And it's just, you may not like the genre, but you've got to recognize the talent in them,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Stuff that they're doing.
yeah, the one thing that Rob and Mike and I talk about all the time is that the bands like Gobies and Chris Meldrum, Meldrum Brothers.
Yeah, I got those guys playing this summer.
Yep. And obviously Alter Ego and a lot of them play songs that no one would ever attempt to play. And Rob really kind of likes the Meldrum Brothers because he calls them the Leonard Skinner of the Blue Water area.
Yeah.
They have a unique. They're really good at that Southern rock, right? And
yeah,
but not the traditional Southern rock that you hear every band play. I mean, they'll go into things that I've never heard any cover band or band play.
Yeah,
really interesting.
Yeah, playing the Spinners and stuff like that. And then go ahead.
I'm a fan of Delbert McClinton. I got turned on to him years ago in Silly because there was a mate of mine who was in his band. He said, I've been asked to play with Delbert McClinton. And guy's phenomenal live. He just kind of retired this past year. Still, he was out doing loads of gigs, and he's 80. But he just retired. But man, the songs that he's written, great. You can find his stuff everywhere. He's just really good. Great songs that not a lot of people do, by the way.
Yeah. So what's coming up at McMorran in the next next couple months?
Next couple of months, where are we here? Chili Fest is 27, 28. On the Friday, the 27th, there's an 80s band, like a hair band. Saturday is the Queen tribute. February 4th is John Waite. We've got a Great Eagles tribute coming in.
Hotel California, right?
Yep. And there's a Bee Gees one coming in that you go, Bee Gees.
I love the Bee Gees.
Again, you got to recognize the really good songs that they did, So it's a really good tribute show as well. Then we got REO Speedwagon in June. Booked a really good blues band for the summer for Blue Water Festival on the Saturday night. So got some really good things happening. Really, really good things happening there with the theater and also with the plaza, So
right. That was a great concept that they came up with by utilizing that front of that building. And
I think so. I think it's just been really, really, really well used. And Casey's with the bar and stuff. I think it's
right.
It's a good match,
Definitely.
I'm happy to be involved in it. I'm just happy that I was asked to be involved in it. I feel very, very lucky that they asked me, and I do whatever I can to make it work. I can't be there all of the time because I'm
right. Right. You gotta actually act retired sometimes.
Mike, we need bumper music. We need some bumper music. As he said, Bee Gees, I can just hear. I can tell by the way I use my walk.
Who sings
Don't quit your day job there, Rob.
Yeah, who sings that song?
Shut up, Fred.
Rob.
What are you gonna say? Who sings that song? There was a Bee Gees. Yeah, let's keep it that way.
That's
my joke. I say to him all the time.
So Ian, what about
lined up? Some really good acts lined up, and
what about you? Do you have some gigs coming up?
I took the time off here because I just had friends here. They left on Tuesday from Barbados, so I was entertaining them. I was in Europe for December. My next gig is until January 21st at the Windjammer.
Nice.
Nice place. They did a good job redoing it.
Oh, great job.
Yeah.
Food is good. The outside up there is great during the summer. It's a great atmosphere. And I mean, what a view, you just sit out there, like places, boats and.
Well, Fred got a gig there playing there next week outside.
Yeah. I'm shoveling the snow off of the.
You could probably do it now. It's like 50 degrees here. I mean,
Ian, I have a favor to ask you.
Yes, sir.
favor.
And
Wow.
and there's no way this could ever come true. So promise me, whatever I ask you, you just say yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if we ever get the Idiot Circle to do a live one of these on downtown Marine City where we all cruise, will you and Brian Johnson come and play that gig? I've already said
I'll-
yes.
I'll
so-
just say yes.
yes. Okay.
I'll just say yes.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks.
He is, I'll tell you, he is a busy guy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Busy guy, man. He's
Yeah.
always gone doing. In fact, when we arranged it to meet up, he says, "Oh, well, my daughter's coming out from England right after you, and then I've got to go like to LA for some meetings. Like me and my manager, because he has his own manager for his TV shows and all that, and his book
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, he's a busy guy, man. Busy guy. So I mean,
Trying to lay the groundwork to get out of this later. Is that what you're doing right now?
say that again, Rob.
I said, are you trying to lay the groundwork to get out of this if we so happen to put one of these big things together?
I got to convince him, and he's a hard man to convince. He's a hard man to convince.
Well, we'll just get a flatbed. We'll put you in, and we'll get Bob and whoever you have drumming or
Yeah.
keyboarding with you. We'll put them on and you can do the Idiot Circle and just
Yeah,
play on the back.
Georgia Satellite style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
Georgia
man.
satellite stuff.
I do have to tell you, I think you guys do a fabulous job, man. It's a great thing. So congratulations to you guys for doing such a good thing, man.
Well,
Wow.
It's
thank you.
just
We
our
appreciate it.
dumb luck that we get the most interesting guests we've ever had that had such interesting life with famous people, and you got frozen every 3 seconds.
That's
The
all-
most
hey, listen.
interesting man
That's
in the
our
world.
luck. That's our luck. Ian.
Yeah.
That's our
That's
luck.
our luck.
Listen, once I'm in the ground, I'll be truly frozen. So don't worry.
Well, that won't be for a while. So
Well, fingers crossed.
yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah, in the
So-
death pool, everybody's got Fred first.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just make
Cool,
sure,
man.
hey, Ian, do me a favor. Just make sure you bury me upside down so Rob can kiss my ass. And don't use it for a
You
bike.
park his bike in it.
Bike
Put a
in
bike
it.
rack. Well, some of the girls that I know, you could use that like in the front for a bike rack.
Oh.
Huh? Not many of them to the pound, we say.
Let me get their numbers later, Ian.
I will, Rob, I will.
Rob's pretty
Oh
desperate
my
these
goodness.
days. He's really desperate.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yep. Rob, Rob's the actual inventor of plenty of fish.
It's been so long. When I walk into a room with the aquarium, the fish stops.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Well, hey,
I was
Ian.
in a room full of girls the other day. I took
Okay.
down my pants, and they all looked at me and laughed and said, "Who's that going to please?" And I said, "Me."
Yeah, right.
I thought you were gonna say, "Hey, happy hour's over. The cocktail wiener's already here in the bag."
Ooh.
I still, hey, listen, I sometimes get some young girls, come up to me and go, "Hi," and I go, "Oh," and they go, "You having fun tonight?" I go, "Yeah, great, man." And they go, "You know my dad." That just blows it, right? So then I'll come home at night. My wife will say, "How was the show?" I go, "Oh, I met this beautiful young girl." She says, "I know her dad."
Chet's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So laughs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he throws in a couple of those during the show all the time. He goes, "Hey, you guys keep on drinking. By the end of the show, we'll actually sound good."
That's right. The more you drink,
Yeah. Oh, we missed it. Rose again.
The better we sound, he's gonna say.
Yeah.
The better we sound. The better we
that's what I
sound.
say.
No, what do you say?
Frozen it. The more you drink, the better we sound. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You
Yep.
froze up to
Ding,
when
ding,
you
ding,
did
ding, ding.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just-
Yeah. That's what I tell the audience. Yeah. You might not know it yet, but the more you drink, the better we sound.
Yeah,
That
perfect.
would sound like the Beatles by the end of the night.
Right.
Might be Octopus's Garden, but what the hell,
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
All right.
Beauty.
Well, hey, Ian, really appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but
Oh,
you know,
did you say?
and we would love to have you on, later on in the summer if you have some time. And
Yeah, love to. Love
yep.
to.
And guys, just a reminder, we will download this onto YouTube. It'll also be on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up on notifications if you want. If you want to subscribe, you'll get notified every time we put a new show on. So, Ian, again, thanks, guys. Great seeing you. And
Thanks,
Thanks
Ian.
a lot, guys,
Hey.
for having me. I appreciate it very
Hey,
much. You're doing a
appreciate
great
it.
job.
Hey,
You're great job.
kudos.
Keep it up,
Yep,
fellas.
yeah,
Thank you.
kudos to you, Ian, and everything you're doing up there, and the rest of you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers. I wish you all
Bye,
the
Ian.
very
Yep.
best and a happy new year to you.
You guys,
too.
you too. You
Thank
too.
you.
Cheers, guys. Keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah.
See you,
See you on the
fellas.
ice.
Yep.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.